Hello, welcome to the fourth lesson of the P module. This is Digital Detox, Tailoring Your Breaks from Technology. So these are all the ways, strategies, methods, and tactics that you can start tailoring digital detoxes into your daily routine. And most importantly, why it is key to schedule breaks and to take breaks, not only from your phone, but from things in general. I find that stepping back from any sort of creative endeavor or any job even that you have is so integral to not only getting better at it, but just developing new perspectives with it. So if it's not your phone that you're taking a break from, which you should be, taking breaks in general from things that you've been doing for a sustained amount of time is absolutely key to developing not only better habits, but also new perspectives on those things. So there's more to life than what's on your screen. Let's build a personalized detox solution. So this lesson kind of goes over all of the ways and the whys of digital detoxes and how you might go about putting them into the life that you already have. The benefits of regular breaks. There are so many different benefits of regular breaks. Again, not just with your phone, but just in life in general. And I don't think that's emphasized enough, especially in the realm of productivity. So the benefits of regular and personalized digital detoxes are numerous and wide ranging. So I just want to go over a couple of them here and highlight some of the most important parts here. The first one that I'd like to call out here is productivity. Improve performance levels and reduce performance decline. I've got a good amount of experience with this. Improved performance is so important. Taking a break, I think the biggest thing that I've taken a break from in my recent life is posting every single day. I've done that for years on multiple different platforms, and stepping back and allowing myself to build this business and then build other parts of my life, like my relationship with my fiance, my personal life. This sneeze right now and other things that just relate to my overall well-being and happiness is such an amazing thing that comes from taking breaks. So improve your productivity through taking breaks. The next one here is creativity. Your downtime boosts creative flow and artistic expression. This is so true for anything artistic or creative. If you're doing it for super long and you've been looking at it for hours, stepping back even for half an hour or a day will drastically change how you view it when you come back. So take breaks from things that are creative, come back with a brand new perspective, and make some changes that you otherwise wouldn't have made without the break. The next thing here kind of goes without saying, but mental well-being. Taking a break from your devices in this case prevents info overload, reduces stress and anxiety. And I think that is a huge part to highlight. Reducing stress and living anxiety-free, as I've mentioned before in other parts of this course, is a huge part of why we're doing this and why I believe you should start taking more breaks. Physical health, we talked about the big three in the first H module. Just servicing the machine, right? That concept of keeping your body up to date is super important, not only for your personal health, but also that release of dopamine. But in this case, the physical health of your literal eyes. It mitigates eye strain by not looking at your phone all the time. Back pain is improved, and it improves cardiovascular health, especially if you're getting out and using and servicing your body how you should be. Better sleep is an amazing part of taking digital breaks. My sleep has drastically improved since I've been implementing these over the course of my life, but better sleep comes from less blue light that you are ingesting into your brain due to less screen time. Memory enhancement, your rest period will help you with information consolidation and also recall. I've noticed my memory and I suppose recall as well getting a lot better just because I don't spend so much time being constantly stimulated. So that is awesome. Any of those moments that you've ever had where you're like, I don't know the word for this, or when something's on the tip of your tongue or when something slips your mind, that can all be improved by just taking a break from feeding yourself troughs and troughs of meaningless content. Preventing decision fatigue. This is a huge one. Taking a break from your digital devices replenishes mental resources and improves decision making. Imagine being able to know exactly what you want when you want it. Maybe it's not that instantaneous, but at least you'll be improving that aspect of your life. I think that's so key to not wasting time and, again, becoming the most productive person you can be. Attention span, this one goes without saying. This is huge. But not being stimulated all day by content helps maintain focus over extended periods. I notice this the moment I make the decision to not be on my phone or computer during a part of my day. My attention span just seems to grow and thrive almost without me thinking of it. And it's all for logical reasons. The next one here is mood improvement, reduce feelings of isolation and feel real world interactions. Obviously, if you're not looking at your screen, you have more and more opportunities to connect with other people and things in the real physical world, which is so incredibly important. In fact, that might be the only reason we're on this earth, is to connect with others. Real world interactions. And lastly here, physical activity. It enables engagement in physical activity, boosting mood and reducing health risk. We sort of talked about this when we talked about the cardiovascular health, but boosting mood is such a big part of physical activity. Remember, we talked about how servicing the machine and being physical and getting active is probably the healthiest and most natural source of dopamine. So leveraging that as often as possible is super key and a huge why behind taking breaks. So those are just some of the benefits. Obviously, it's not all of them, and the experience of taking a break there's no list that can capture how amazing that is. So take breaks for yourself and experience new benefits that you've never even thought of. Strategies for scheduling. These are ways that you can go about thinking about how you might implement digital detoxes into your busy life. My life is as packed as it can get. So finding time to instigate these detoxes is made easier by these 4 tips that will help you create achievable detox strategies and work for you personally. So the first one here is identify essential screen time. And I just want to write down, when do you actually need screens? So especially depending on your profession or your job, this becomes super key to start understanding, and not only understanding, but recognizing for yourself, and then also becoming just more aware of and specifically aware of the why you're using your screen. I work in social media, not only for my personal brand, but also for the brand that I work for here in town. So it becomes very key for me to understand why and when I need to be on screens. And that just makes it a whole lot more intentional every time I pick up the phone, either at work or at home, to do something specific. So identify essential screen time and lean into that, and also schedule things around those essential screen times. I think the key here is essential. It's understanding what is absolutely needed. And that, I think, to me, means it is completely needed for work and for your livelihood, and sort of devoid of leisurely scrolling. So find those essential times in your own life. The next one here, another strategy for scheduling, is utilizing do not disturb and screen time trackers. This is an awesome way. I've talked about this already in the tactical methods that you can employ to start making your mindfulness journey a little bit easier. But utilizing the do not disturb function, I think, is such an unsung hero when it comes to improving your screen time. We literally have everything we need at our fingertips to help us on our journey towards a more mindful self. Utilizing do not disturb is one of the easiest ways. You can set the apps that you don't want to open for a certain period of time. You can set time limits, and you can even use screen time trackers like iOS, or the one that I mentioned before, which is 1 sec. So I just want to write down here, set app limits. On distractions. So another amazing benefit of the do not disturb feature is just seeing those app icons grayed out. And while you can tap into them and just say ignore for 15 minutes, I think it is super, super amazing that you can just have an immediate visual that reminds you. Remember, it makes that habit easy. Or I suppose it also makes it unattractive to remind yourself to not get on social media when you don't absolutely need to. The next one here is rely on no phone zones. When I talked about altering your environment, we talked about organizing your digital and physical as well as your mental space. But if you have a space, which if you don't by now, you should, if you haven't established a space for no phone usage, like I have here in my office, specifically the couch, identify those spaces and rely on them heavily. There is something really crazy that happens when you define find those for yourself and you walk into those rooms and you see the things that trigger your no phone usage. I can't look at that couch without thinking there shouldn't even be technology remotely near it. So define those for yourselves and rely on them. Create spaces. I just want to write create space. And lastly here, start gradually. This is something that I can't help but bring up in every single lesson in this course, but the smaller you start, the more likely it is that you will succeed with things that you're trying to build, whether it's systems or goals. So start small and allow yourself to gradually build a habit over time. This is also obviously very key for not getting down on yourself when things don't go exactly the way that you think they should. Starting small is essential to building habits that last and things that you'll use into the future. So personalizing detoxes to fit your lifestyle, personalizing your digital detoxes to your specific lifestyle and preference is essential for an achievable plan. I just want to remind you here that you are not like anybody else. And that is such a amazing thing to not only recognize, but realize for yourself and to hear. There are all sorts of people out there. Sounds obvious, but the differences between these people are astounding. And that is one of the best parts of being a person, is that you get to experience so many different parts of life and lead different lives than your peers. So understanding that and leaning into that, I didn't give you arms, sorry. Understanding that and leaning into that and recognizing that there isn't a one-stop shop when it comes to digital mindfulness or personalization. I can only tell you so much and I can give you the tools, tips, and tricks, but it's up to you whether or not you pick those tools up and start making something amazing. So another great way to personalize your digital detoxes is to remember the SMART framework. Remember, S stands for specific. M stands for measurable. A stands for attainable. R stands for realistic. And T stands for time bound. So utilizing the SMART framework is an awesome way to, again, build systems and goals that are actually achievable. And then all of a sudden, when you look at the SMART framework and the goals you want to accomplish with that framework through the lens of personalization, that's when you really start to supercharge your goals and your aspirations in not only those specific things, but getting them done in an efficient manner. So first step is to realize that you are so incredibly different and so beautiful in your own way, just like everyone else. And your personalized detox and your personal plan that you come up with is not going to look exactly the same as the next person's or even mine. You have to put in the work and put in the hours to understand how you work with technology, where your breaks need to occur, and also why you want to implement breaks into your life. So spending some time with yourself through either meditation or journaling, and then personalizing your detoxes that are informed by your reflection is super key to making a detox work for you. Change is an ever-present aspect of our lives, and it is something that doesn't ever go away, and maybe the only constant thing in life. So understanding that and then tailoring your detoxes to fit with how much you have changed and how much you will change as a person is essential to having a successful digital detox. Hey, before you go, I want to talk about the guided journal, and I'd love it if you flipped to the Tailoring Your Breaks from Technology page and answer a couple questions. What are your current thoughts on the idea of a digital detox? Does it make you anxious, excited? Do you feel like a detox is something that you can do? Think about how you might feel if you were to not go on your phone for just 3 hours, and then think about how you might feel if you don't go on your phone for 3 days. One of the most important things that Lexi and I do once a year is go to a tiny house in the woods, usually in the winter, where there's actually no service. And it is a company that sort of advertises as a way to disconnect and disengage from technology and give yourself a digital detox. But every time I step into that little dang cabin, I have no choice but to submit to the moment and really feel what it's like to not even have the opportunity to connect. And it is such a beautiful thing to do for 3 days. It is actually mind-blowing how different it is. So if you ever get the chance to do a digital detox, or if you're imagining what it's like to do a detox right now, understand that it is one of the most beneficial things that you can do for yourself as a person, excuse me. And lastly here, write out an example plan for a digital detox that fits within your current lifestyle. Can you see yourself following through with this plan? So imagine what it's like to feel a digital detox, and then imagine what it's like to actually execute a digital detox. What parts of your day, what parts of your life sort of allow themselves to be detoxified? And when do you see yourself following through with that kind of thing? How does it feel? What does it look like? And most importantly, write out why you should take a digital detox for yourself. What about your life and what about your screen time habits make digital detoxing so applicable to you? Those are the questions. Answer them. Take the time. It's super important. And lastly, we will get to the next lesson very soon. It is the last lesson in the HARP system, which means it's the last lesson in Antidote. And I can't wait to get to it. You've been through so much with me. I've been through so much with you. And I hope your digital mindfulness journey, as it comes to a close, is eliciting so many things that you didn't realize were possible, and you're unlocking that most productive version of yourself. I'm so proud of you and so happy to be on the journey with you. I cannot wait to see what you do with all this information. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next lesson.